Alright, another unboxing and Amp Dyno time. Today, got a different one for you. Have an Infinity amplifier here for you today. The REF-551A model. These are rated to do 550 watts RMS at 2 ohms mono. I believe it's also 350 watts at 4 ohms. Pretty budget friendly. This is $149 currently on Amazon. You know, Infinity makes a really nice product. They're owned by Harman Kardon, or I should say Harman International. So you can see there's the old Harman logo. That's the parent company of both JBL and, of course, if you know, Crown. There's several different brands of audio products out there. I've always been a big fan of the JBL and Infinity lines, and of course Crown for home audio. Well, not just home audio stuff, but professional audio stuff. I run a bunch of their amplifiers, both as a subwoofer amp in my home setup, and even here in the test area, I have a Crown X1000 for highs. So, enough talking about this one. Let's unbox it. Let's see what we got in here. In this big old bag of stuff, we of course have our owner's manual for the Infinity reference line. A couple of Infinity stickers, that's kind of nice. Screws from the amplifier. And some extra fuses. And these are high input adapters. So if you're running a budget setup, or if you're running off stock and you want a bass amp, these would go in your RCA inputs, and on this side here you plug in your speaker wire. So pretty nice. And of course, one amplifier. Nicely packed away. And one amp. Pretty small and compact. This will fit most places. This looks to be about just under 10 inches wide and about 7.5 inches across, and about a little over 2 inches tall. Pretty basic. They don't put a lot of different features into these amps. There is no remote bass, no remote bass knobs. There's no extensive filters in here. I mean, if you can see in here, I mean, you've got, looks like 4 gauge power inputs, and these are probably 10 gauge, maybe 8 gauge at best, speaker inputs. Those are right there. You actually, I don't know, looks like these are Phillips head screws. What you can do, you have to unscrew this plate if you want access to the fuses. Takes two 30 amp fuses. And this side, like I said, very, very basic. You have a phase adjustment, bass boost, low pass crossover, and your gain. Pretty much it. And of course your input filter, whether you're low or your high inputs. And of course you plug those right in there. That's it. It does not get any more basic than an Infinity reference amp. I tend to like the sound of these products. I mean, they're usually pretty good. The last JBL amp I tested, granted, pretty rudimentary in my test. It was underrated by quite a bit. That got me curious onto this product because, you know, a lot of times companies like Harman, they'll use the same board over and over and over again and they'll really just use the heatsink. That JBL GTX 500 that I tested had the exact same features of this. Had a lower fuse rating. It had a 50 amp fuse rating total, not a 60 amp fuse rating. And it had a lower RMS total, so maybe they did some tweaks on the product, but I'm curious if I get similar numbers out of it. That one was really underrated. It was rated at 500 watts RMS. I got 860 watts out of it at 2 ohms. And I want to see what this one will do. So, enough talking about it. Let's hook her up. Let's see what she really does. Alright, final thoughts about the Infinity REF-551A amplifier. You know, obviously it's an underrated amp. I like it. I think it's a pretty good value for the $149 that you can find it on Amazon for. You might even be able to find it a little bit less. Infinity amps tend to go on sale pretty often, so you might find one for like 129 bucks. Even this one, I'm going to put this one up for sale. Put it on eBay if you want to contact me. This could be all yours for very reasonable. It'll be under $149. I just want back what I put into it, which I have a deal with Harman / JBL / Infinity. I work for a car company. They make our audio systems, and therefore I get a discount. So this is not provided to me. I did pay for this with my own money. So now I do want to talk about the results there. I mean, you might have noticed that the dyno test looked a little bit different than normal. You might have seen that on the certified test it might not have built up the way it normally does, and I couldn't get the amp to clip. So I don't know if there's some type of clipping regulator in here. They don't talk about it anywhere on the website. They don't talk about it on the box, but I thought before, I could never get my JBL amp to clip. And I couldn't get this one to clip. I mean, there's videos that I'm not going to show you where I've turned the gain up, I've turned it all sorts of different ways. I can't get the amp to go into clipping based on what the SMD meter was saying. Doesn't mean that it can't. It just, I don't know. With my equipment, it's not reading. And as you can see there, I mean, you notice that it gets, when it builds, especially on the certified test, in distortion, it won't go to clipping, but it gets to one point, it like holds it, and then it's almost like a pressure release valve. It's like, okay, I'm gonna put out more power on the sine wave. On the flip, you know, on the dynamic tests, I mean, all the power is right there. I mean, it's got great dynamic power. 818 watts on an amp that's rated 550. Really good value. I mean, you're talking about over 50% more than what it's rated for in here. Even in the certified, not quite uncertified clipping, because it didn't clip, the number being 698, also really good. Even on the 4 ohms, over 460 watts dynamic on an amp that's rated at 350 watts at 4 ohms. Really solid power. So Infinity, yes, good job, you did it. You passed all the ratings. Kinda knew you would. So 2 thumbs up. If you get one of these, they're compact. I think you're gonna like them. Check them out. All right. Another unboxing and Amp Dyno time. Today, got a different one for you. Have an Infinity amplifier here for you today. The REF-551A model. These are rated to do 550 watts RMS at 2 ohms mono. I believe it's also 350 watts at 4 ohms. Pretty budget friendly. This is $149 currently on Amazon. You know, Infinity makes a really nice product. They're owned by Harman Kardon, or I should say Harman International. So you're going to see there's the old Harman logo. That's the parent company of both JBL and, of course, if you know, Crown. With several different brands of audio products out there. I've always been a big fan of the JBL and Infinity lines.